Welcome back to the Mastering the Keys series. We will learn how to master every key on the piano. Whether you're a music producer, a songwriter, or just looking to improve your musical skills, being able to play at every key is important because it allows you better control over the sounds and emotions that you can evoke with your music. Many people often believe that each major and minor key have its own unique feelings and emotions associated with it, so let me know down in the comments below which one's your favorite. Now the last minor key that we looked at was G sharp minor, so let's travel up 5 notes down the circle of fifths and we'll arrive at D sharp minor. First, let's take a look at the key signature. The whopping 6 sharps, it's a very scary key. But don't worry, there's only one more key after this, so soon we'll make all these bad accidentals go away. Now D sharp minor is the relative key of F sharp major. This means that the two keys will share the same key signature. Like F sharp major, this key has 6 sharps, and if you see 6 sharps on the key signature, those will always be F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp, because of the order of sharps and flats that we add into each key signature. E sharp is a wild note because it's an accidental, but it's still played on this white key here, which is more commonly referred to as F. The two notes are actually inharmonic, which means that they have 2 different names, but they share the same pitch. E sharp and F are played on the same key and sound the same, but because we have to have each letter represented in a scale, we have to call this one E sharp since there's already an F sharp. Now let's talk about the notes that make up the key. Since the key is D sharp minor, the root note of the scale will also be D sharp. To find the notes in a minor scale, we'll start on our root node and use the minor step pattern of whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and whole step. Following this pattern will give us the notes D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, and back to D sharp. Now that we know all the notes, let's try playing the D sharp minor scale on the piano. Scales that start on the black keys typically don't start on finger 1 in the right hand or finger 5 in the left hand like a lot of the white key scales will. Now to play this one, our right hand middle finger, or finger number 3, will start on D sharp, and we'll play 3 on D sharp, then shift up, so 1 is on E sharp, which is the same key as F, then we'll play 2 on F sharp, 3 on G sharp, and 4 on A sharp. Then we'll shift up so that finger 1 lands on B, then play 2 on C sharp, and land with 3 on D sharp. Then we'll head back down the keyboard with 3 on D sharp, then 2 on C sharp, and 1 on B, then either cross over or shift your hand so that 4 lands on A sharp, 3 will play G sharp, 2 plays F sharp, and 1 plays E sharp. Then shift back down so that finger 3 lands back home on D sharp. Again, those finger numbers are 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, shift, 1, 2, 3. Then back down with 3, 2, 1, shift, 4, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3. Now work on practicing that scale pattern until you can do it 3 times without making mistakes, and then slowly work on speeding it up. Once you feel comfortable with that, we can move on to the left hand. In the left hand, we start with finger 2 on D sharp, and we'll play D sharp, then 1 on E sharp, then shift up to hit F sharp with 4, then use 3 on G sharp and 2 on A sharp, and then 1 on B. Then shift or cross over to have finger 3 land on C sharp, and then play D sharp with 2. Then we'll head back down with 3 on C sharp, and then shift so that finger 1 lands on B. We'll play 2 on A sharp, 3 on G sharp, and 4 on F sharp. Then we'll shift our hand back down so that finger 1 lands on E sharp, and finger 2 ends up home on D sharp. Again, those finger numbers are 2, 1, shift, 4, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2. Then back down with 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, shift, 1, 2. This scale can be a bit more difficult than some of the previous scales we've talked about because each hand has 2 shifts in each direction instead of 1, and they don't start on the same fingers. Be sure you practice those shifts slowly and methodically so you can do them without having to look at your hands every time it's time to shift position. Once you can play the left hand without mistakes, we'll try putting them together. So let's set up our hands with 3 on D sharp in the right hand and 2 on D sharp in the left hand, and we'll play D sharp, and then the right hand shifts up to E sharp, then the left hand shifts up to F sharp, then G sharp, and A sharp. Then the right hand shifts up to B, the left hand shifts up to C sharp, and then we'll play D sharp. Now back down from D sharp to C sharp. The left hand shifts down to B. Now the right hand shifts down to A sharp, then G sharp, then F sharp. Then the left hand shifts down to E sharp, and now the right hand will shift back down home to D sharp. Now let's do that again, but a little bit slower. We'll play D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, and D sharp. Then back down from D sharp to C sharp, B, A sharp, G sharp, F sharp, E sharp, and finally back home to D sharp. Now great work so far. And once you feel comfortable with those scales, we can move on to learning the arpeggios. Arpeggios are just runs that will play the root, the third, and the fifth intervals of the scale. In the key of D sharp minor, these notes are D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp. This arpeggio starts on a black key, but we won't use the Oreo position that we've learned in other videos because all three notes of the arpeggio are played on the black keys. For this one, we'll start with the thumb and use the classic 1, 2, 3 position. Starting with the right hand, we'll start with finger 1 on D sharp. We'll use finger 2 on F sharp and finger 3 on A sharp. Then shift your hands over so that your thumb will land on the next D sharp an octave up, then hit F sharp with 2 and play A sharp with 3. Then finally reach your pinky up and play D sharp with finger 5. Then head back down with 3 on A sharp, 2 on F sharp, and 1 on D sharp. Then we'll shift our hand back down and play 3 on A sharp, 2 on F sharp, and land home with 1 on D sharp. Again, the right hand arpeggio finger numbers are 1, 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 5. Then back down with 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. Now let's take a look at the left hand. It plays the same notes, but it uses a different fingering. We'll start with finger 5 on D sharp, then play 3 on F sharp, 2 on A sharp, and 1 on D sharp. Then we'll shift our hand up so that 3 plays F sharp, 2 plays A sharp, and 1 lands on D sharp. Then we'll head back down with 2 on A sharp and 3 on F sharp. Then we'll shift down so that finger 1 plays D sharp, 2 plays A sharp, 3 plays on F sharp, and 5 lands home on D sharp. Again, those finger numbers for the left hand arpeggio are 5, 3, 2, 1, shift, 3, 2, 1. Then back down with 1, 2, 3, shift, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now we can practice each hand separately very slowly until we stop making mistakes, and then try putting them together. Playing them together looks like this. If you were able to play along, awesome job with those. It gets a lot easier from here on out, so just stick with it a little longer. And now we can talk about the chord progression. We talk about the 1, 4, and 5 chord progressions because of the most common chords played in pretty much any piece of music or song that you'll want to learn. Also, if you know the 1, 4, and 5 chords, you can pretty much write anything that you would like to. A surprising number of hip-hop songs were made just using the 1, 4, and 5 chords. So in a minor key, the 1 chord and the 4 chords have a minor quality, so you'll see the lowercase Roman numeral under them to show that. Even though we're in a minor key, we still use that major 5 chord, even though the third interval of that 5 chord is not actually in the minor key signature. Typically, when we play in a minor key, we'll play a major 5 chord instead of a minor 5 chord. There are music theory reasons why this typically happens, but they all pretty much boil down to it sounds nice, so that's how we decided we're going to do it from now on. If you want to find out more about why that is, be sure to check out my music theory playlist down in the comments below. So looking at our chords, the minor 1 chord of D sharp minor is spelled D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp. The minor 4 chord is G sharp minor, spelled G sharp, B, and D sharp. And the 5/7 chord is A sharp 7, which is spelled A sharp, then C double sharp, E sharp, and G sharp. A double sharp is exactly what it sounds like, in that a sharp raises a note a half step, but a double sharp raises it another half step. So here we have a C, Then we have a C sharp that's played here on this black key, but adding another sharp will put it up a half step here to this white key. Like we talked about earlier, these two notes, C double sharp and D, are inharmonic, meaning they have the same pitch, but they'll go by different names. So for the sake of making this chord progression easier to play, we'll invert the minor 4 chord to its second inversion, which will make this chord spelled D sharp, G sharp, and B. Then we'll invert the 5/7 chord to its first inversion and eliminate the fifth interval of the chord, giving us the notes C double sharp, or played on the white key for D, then G sharp and A sharp. To play our chord pattern, we'll play a minor 1, minor 4, minor 1, major 5/7, then back on that minor 1. So let's start by playing that D sharp minor in its root position, then the minor 4 chord, G sharp minor, in its second inversion, spelled D sharp, G sharp, and B, and then back down to that D sharp minor. We'll then play the A sharp 7 chord in its first inversion without the fifth of the chord, giving us C double sharp, G sharp, and A sharp, and then finally we'll end back on that D sharp minor chord in its root position. Playing them all back to back looks like this. If you were able to follow along, great job making it through those. There's just one last thing to talk about before truly mastering the key of D sharp minor, and those are the inversions. These are just the different ways to stack the D sharp minor chord. In the right hand, we'll play a D sharp minor with D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp using fingers 1, 2, and 5. Then we'll move finger 1 up to F sharp, so we'll play F sharp, A sharp, and D sharp with fingers 1, 3, and 5. Then we'll move the right hand up again so that finger 1 is on A sharp, and we'll play A sharp, D sharp, and F sharp with fingers 1, 3, and 5. Then finally we'll move up to play that D sharp minor chord in its root position an octave up with fingers 1, 2, and 5. Switching over to look at the left hand notes are the same, but we'll use different fingers. We'll play that root D sharp minor chord with fingers 5, 3, and 1 on D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp. Then we're going to shift up to play F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp with fingers 5, 3, and 1 again. Then we'll move up and play A sharp, D sharp, and F sharp with fingers 5, 2, and 1, and then finally move up one last time to play that root D sharp minor chord with fingers 5, 3, and 1. Playing both hands together will sound like this. If you were able to follow along, great job making it through those. Like all the other parts of the learning process, go slow before you grow. I often feel that one of the hardest parts about learning the piano is giving yourself the grace that you need to allow yourself to be purposefully bad at something when you're first starting out. It's always alright if you don't nail something on the first try. Just let yourself learn and enjoy the process of growing in your own skills. Now let's put together everything that we've learned so far. We'll start with the scale, then do the arpeggio, the chord progression, and then the inversions. If you followed along through the end, congratulations on making it through the key of D sharp minor. Give yourself plenty of time to work on this key because it's one of the harder ones, but it's totally worth it to have this key in your musical arsenal. If you found this video helpful, please give the channel a like and subscribe if you aren't already. Now thank you for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for the next video.